I use any and all pronouns. I have no preference.
You don't have a preference? Because I was going around, just figured, hey, let's get pronouns from everybody. So wait, you use any and all pronouns? Like, does it change? Like, is it fluid?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, whatever anyone says at any moment, if they're referring to me.
Wait, they get to pick what your pronouns are?
I mean, they don't get to necessarily pick. They all work. They can just.
So I could call you
whatever.
he.
Yeah.
You'd be
if they call her
fine?
that on accident, I see what she's saying.
Wait, you'd be fine if I called you he?
Yeah.
Or if I called you she?
Yeah.
They?
Yeah.
It?
Sure.
You're fine with it?
Yeah.
Your Majesty. You fine with that?
Yeah.
That's
Can we ask why?
Your
Why
Majesty.
you feel that way?
Because I personally feel no strong connection to any gender. I feel like I just am what I am.
I feel like, isn't it almost more offensive to be like, I take them all. I am all genders. Fuck you.
Pokemon.
I don't see how that would be
Pokemon for
offensive.
gender.
I could
It's up
see
to
somebody getting
everyone.
offended over that.
I mean, if they do, then they do.
I
Everyone
claim
can
them all.
define themselves.
I am everything. I'm omnipotent.
But I'm not taking it away from anybody else.
Is that all powerful?
Or it's omnipotent is all powerful.
Yeah.
Your gender is omni?
Sure.
Ooh, that'd be sick.
They/omni? What about you? Your pronouns?
She, her.
She, her?
She, her.
She, her.
She, her.
Aristotle is dead donated $100. If gender-affirming care gives someone a better quality of life, look at the studies, it is a good thing. Prove me wrong, Brian.
Why are you coming at me? I feel like I haven't even really
He
had
hasn't
a
even given his
strong
point of
position.
view. Yeah.
You got money.
I don't really have.
Donating.
If gender-affirming care, I think that was you who was
Yeah,
really
no,
talking
I
about
said
that.
something about it.
Gender-affirming care gives someone a better quality of life. Look at the studies. It is a good thing. Well, I mean, what about people, like I've heard like detransitioners, and then there's somebody who's been blowing up on Twitter, like to make the neo, is what it's called or whatever, they have to like remove this from your arm, and
Skin graft.
they just like from your arm here, I guess.
For what?
To give a woman who's transitioning into a man a peen.
Ouch.
And like it gets infections or something. Look, I don't know. Is it? I actually wait. Hold on. I have to wait till she's back to ask these fucking
Okay, can I
questions.
say something about that real quick though?
Nobody leave once she gets back, please, so I can go around asking the question. What's your thing,
I feel like, as you know,
Daniel?
the whole gender affirming care, I think we should also, give a lot of effort to find out why they feel the way that they feel, because especially right now, this whole, debate on gender and stuff, this is like a new thing. Okay, I did not grow up with this, and I'm just literally 21. So this, we should also figure out why this is a thing, because I don't think that people are really dealing with, I don't know what gender I am, I don't know. It seems like a
Stemming from
deeper
something.
Yeah, it's definitely something else. Yeah,
I think a part of that is your family structure, how you are growing up, the father picture, like I think a lot of people who grow up with their father and mother and or the father was around, whatever, has a better outcoming in life than an absent father.
I think you're hitting on something really important right here. Like I think the lack of male figures in our culture, the lack of strong male leadership is I think what breeds all of this nonsense. It like if you don't have men who are willing to stand up and say this is what is right, this is what is wrong. The leaders, yes. If you don't have men showing you what a man is, then I can see how all of these things can be questioned. If you have men walking around and being able to push over like they're children and they have no stances on anything and nothing is important to them and they'll just say whatever they can say to get laid, like obviously people are going to have a difficult time understanding the difference between a man and a woman. But when you have a society that has a strong emphasis on what a man is, what he is supposed to do, what his duty is to protect, to provide, to lead, when you don't have that, I can see how all of this stuff comes out. Like
Everything crumbles.
Yeah. Like if you grow up in a household with no father figure, what does it mean to be a man?
Because as a girl growing up, like, it wasn't so important. Know that my dad was protecting me and he was there for me. Yeah. So imagine growing up and don't have that male figure as a father that you know it will protect you. I'm not saying your mother won't. Absolutely, there's moms like my mom that will protect me with her life.
Mothers are extremely important.
Extremely important, but the father has that job of protecting you and making sure you're safe, you know, and guiding you and being the leader.
Yeah. Another interesting statistic that it has borne out is that families, I don't want to butcher this, I might mess up when I say it, but families that have a 2-parent household, their children, their statistical likelihood of going to prison, graduating high school, all of like a bunch of these negative, not graduating high school, having children out of wedlock, those negative predictors, they have the same statistical likelihood of avoiding those if they have a single father household. And it doesn't hold the same for a single mother household. It shows, I'm not bashing single mothers. I think women who are raising children by themselves, that is an extremely hard place to be in. And I empathize with your position. I think it's a crime against you, because I mean, we've had a society that has promoted that for a very long time, especially in minority neighborhoods, minority communities. But yeah, it shows the importance of fatherhood. And I think fathers are extremely important.
Extremely important, extremely.
Couple questions here, and then we'll get back to the what percentage of men you find attractive question. So, okay, we were talking about the gender stuff. So I think one good clarifying question we should ask the whole panel, the whole table here, is, and I'll actually relate it back to dating here in a bit. What is a woman?
A woman is whoever defines themselves as a woman.
An adult human female.
A person who has female genitals and chromosomes.
Yeah, I'd probably say someone who identifies as a woman.
Someone who has female, same as her, genitals and chromosomes.
Same.
You're only a woman if you can have your period and have kids.
There's plenty of biological women who can't do either of that either.
Do you mean
like the essence
yes,
of that?
Thank you.
Okay.
Because I know there's some women who cannot bear a child, so I'm not talking about those type of women, but you know what I mean.
Wait, so just for you two, since I think you guys said that a woman is somebody who identifies as a woman, is that, I don't want to misstate your positions, is that correct? So perhaps you can provide a more precise definition. Can you define what a woman is without using the word woman?
Someone who defines themselves as such.
Well, you haven't really improved a whole lot on the requested definition.
Killer of Cereal donated $100. So long as the message isn't pushing kids to mutilate themselves by preying on their uncertainties. Adults who want to be delusional live in the country to do so, and they can. Must protect the kids.
Agreed. Very much agreed.
Love that Killer Cereal.
I think if you're an adult and you want to do whatever you want to, that's fine. Yeah. But with kids, like when I was 5 years old, I used to say I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a vet. It's the same thing. If you let a kid make that decisions at such a young age, and as an adult, do whatever you want. But let's protect the kids until they can come to an age they can make their own decisions.
Do you have any thoughts on that when it comes to children? Like, because I think it sounded like you were in favor of gender-affirming care. Any thoughts on, someone who's 11, 12, 13? Or do you think...
I feel like they should still be able to express themselves how they choose. That doesn't necessarily mean surgery. Of course, children should not be going under serious surgeries necessarily. I mean, there's plenty of checks that are done so to keep people from doing this and it prevents tons of trans people who are trans from even getting this care because they're not deemed as qualifying for the surgeries.
But what about the hormone medicine? What's that called?
Yeah, hormone blockers? Or
puberty blockers. Thank you. Yeah, puberty
blockers. You can take them as a kid, and then when you go off them, from what I know, because I don't know a lot about puberty and hormone blockers, it doesn't keep you from developing those traits later in life if you decide to go off them.
So you're saying, for example, let's say someone from the age, when does puberty typically start? 10, 11, 12, around there? Let's just say they started, I don't know, let's say the age is 12. From 12 to 20, they use these puberty blockers. I don't know if that's a typical age they continue using it until, but are you saying that once they get off it at 20, that it would like, they would just go ahead and have their puberty at 20? Is that, I'm not familiar with
I'm not fully familiar with hormone blockers either, so I'm going to concretely say
Christ is Lord donated $100. The reason we are dealing with gender confusion is moral decay without God. Romans 1 says, just as they did not see fit to acknowledge God, God gave them up to a depraved mind.
Yep, true.
Christ is Lord. Okay, thank you for
Christ
the
is Lord.
TTS. Appreciate it. But so you don't object to the use of puberty blockers in children? Is that?
No, I don't object. I feel like there's a lot of checks and balances in place that even prevent people who really want to go on them from even being able to go on them. So
Are there? I don't know.
It's not a foolproof system, but it's really, really
Well, let's
hard
just
for someone to just willy-nilly go on something like that.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Your thoughts on that? Like, cool for the kids to go on puberty blockers?
I don't know about other people's kids, but for my own kids, I think it just would. I honestly don't really know. I'm not anywhere close to that. I think my view of gender is kind of like, I know what I am, and other people, you know, the way I said that women means that, like, how people identify themselves, is that I think that is true, because if someone thinks that they are a woman and maybe biologically they weren't born a woman, I won't interfere with that. And I think it's a lot to say that is a mental disorder, because sexuality was also considered a mental disorder for a very long time. And sometimes it's still considered a mental disorder.
Well,
What do you mean sexuality is a mental
Sexuality,
disorder?
like being gay, yeah.
So let's stick though to the conversation at hand.
No, yeah.
Here. So strictly when it comes to the puberty blockers thing, when it comes to kids taking them, in favor, against?
I think I might be more against it for kids. I know that I'm kind of like, I don't really know, because I don't know if it's like, if you wait too long, if you can't take them then, and if, you know, like, I'm not really sure how it works exactly, and I think it would just really depend on, you know, the case. I don't really know.
One thing I do know about puberty blockers is they don't work if you take them later. They only work if you take them early enough to prevent the hormones from making the permanent changes. So you can always go off of them and then get those changes, but you can't undo them necessarily.
Well, I have seen some research, and I don't think it's true.
Okay.
I don't think it's true that, like, you've say you were born a male, but you want to.
Aristotle is dead donated $100. Let boys choose whether. Until you oppose MGM, I can't take your transphobic arguments seriously.
Choose whether what?
Can I just,
Until you oppose
it's not, it's
male.
one-
Wait, until you oppose male genital.
Male genital.
Talking about
It's
male
interesting.
genital mutilation.
It's actually interesting you raise that, because I actually do object to circumcision. So I don't know. I do oppose
I agree.
circumcision.
Can you,
I don't.
why?
What's been transphobic about any of this conversation, though?
We can't have an opinion anymore without everything being
Yeah,
like
it's a phobic ism, but
nobody hates nobody.
wait.
Scared
So
of them.
wait. Okay, we were on the puberty. Oh, so I do think it's the case. Like, you can't, once you've made the change with the puberty blockers or whatever, there's no reversal. Like, you've hit 20, you were on that for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, however long. You're not just gonna switch back.
It's
There
not
might
just
be
a pause button.
You could also take hormones later in life. You could.
But do you
take-
think it would be this? It's going to end up being the same as if you just proceeded through puberty as normal?
I'm sure it wouldn't be the same.
Well, what are your thoughts on the like people who detransition?
People are allowed to detransition. It doesn't take away from people who are trans.
Okay.
People can change their identity.
But
later
it
in
sounded
life.
like you're fine with the puberty blockers, if I have that. Is that correct? For children.
I would believe so, but I don't have that much knowledge on specifically puberty blockers.
Sure. Well, question for the panel on this. So, let's say you have kids in the future. I know you don't want to have kids, but let's just, for the sake of this conversation, hypothetical here. Say you have an 11-year-old daughter or son, doesn't really matter. They come to you at 11 and they want to get a tattoo. Would you allow them to get a tattoo?
How old are they again, Brent?
11.
Oh, no.
I
Not
wouldn't
tatted
let them
up,
get a
no.
tattoo, but the same thing with gender or going on to a type of medication or surgery. If it's the one and first time they brought it up, I probably wouldn't let them just go on something like that either. It's got to be something they've felt and wanted for a really, really long time, and it's really serious, and take them through the checks and balances to make sure it is what they feel and it's what they really want, and they understand the long-term consequences and effects to the best of their knowledge. And after a couple of years.
Okay. We'll go around the table on this.
Absolutely not.
No.
I don't know. I think not.
That's fine.
Yeah, I don't really care.
No.
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 Yeah, definitely not.